Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. A lot of Navy teams making their way to West Point this week, and we're shining the light this time on track and field on the women's side with Chelsey Edwards. And, you know, obviously going to Army means a little bit different for you. You've got a brother who plays basketball up there. Your folks were in the Air Force. You know, how did Chelsey Edwards end up in Annapolis?
Oh, man. Well, I was being recruited for both West Point and Navy. But I really enjoyed, I guess, just the track team here and the atmosphere. I love my brothers and everything, but, you know, beat Army, I couldn't really get over there. I didn't really enjoy it as much, so.
Obviously here, let me ask you this, too, from a track and field perspective. A place like the Wesley Brown Fieldhouse and the facilities that they have here, does that make a difference when you're trying to choose where you want to go to college?
Oh, yes, definitely. Our track is banked and makes, like, it's hydraulic, like, banked, and I ran on it a lot during, I ran on a hydraulic banked track at A&M for indoor season, and that was one of the best experiences that I've been in, one of the best track meets I've been in, because of just the competition is a lot different when you're on one of those tracks, and it just makes it, you just realize how game on, I guess, or competitive that a team really is when you're on one of those tracks. And it's different. I really enjoy it.
I was going to ask you this from this standpoint. I mean, in the state of Texas, you're going up against talented people pretty much all the time.
Oh, yeah.
How much did competing against that kind of competition make you feel comfortable that, yeah, I can make the transition to the Division I level and be a competitive performer, because you hit the ground running in your freshman year here?
Well, honestly, track in Texas is very similar to track here. The competition is very similar. It's the people that graduate high school from Texas are going to these really competitive schools like A&M, Texas Tech, Texas State, just UT. The thing is, like, you have to realize that you're going to be going against competitive people all around. And coming here was not that hard of a transition, because you kind of are just going against the same, like, type of people, really competitive people. So
you guys on your relay team on the 4x400 have really set an amazing standard in this league. What is the key to getting four people all in the same rhythm, on the same plane, and to continue that kind of success? Because, you know, I mean, you can have one or two people within a relay team and a fast anchor or something like that and make a difference, but you all really have this. We did the Army meet last year. You all have this down to a science. What is it that makes a successful relay team?
Honestly, it takes a lot of hard work and just compassion for the teammates. When it comes to a 4x4, it's a team effort. Track is usually seen as an individual sport, and when it comes to the relays, you have to. It's a whole bunch of the same people, the same type of talent coming together and running the fastest time that you can. So when it comes to that, it takes just a lot of love for the girls and just really wanting to win. So
I was going to say too, I mean, how do you balance the individual part within the team aspect? Because the one thing I noticed watching one of your meets in person is, you know, when you all are not competing, many of you are over somewhere cheering on a teammate, trying to help them out, get them ready maybe for their event, get them pumped up.
Right.
How do you all balance the need to be great individually within that team concept that obviously is part of the culture?
it's just, I don't know, because track is just one of those teams. It's definitely a different atmosphere than when it would be basketball or volleyball, just because you're just an individual and then you have to come together. Like it takes a lot more effort, I would say, on a team standpoint. So it's I don't know. It's a lot of, just love for the team. We all have the same type of personalities too. We're all very we joke around a lot and stuff. At practice, of course, we're so really hard working, but through all the pain of the different races that we run and just the hard practices that we do, you just have to learn to love the sport. It's a love-hate relationship, and
sure.
With that, it just comes with loving your teammates too.
You've participated in multiple events. Do you have a favorite?
The 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that? It's
It's one of the hardest races that you can run. it's very strategic, yet when you finish the race, it is very overpowering just because you know that you can run a faster time, or you know that you can get better. It's really hard to run because not many people can run it, I'd say, but it's one of the most, I guess, well-rounded races.
To be able to share the athletic experience, and obviously it's different for Kane. He's on a basketball team as you're on a track team, but I know outside of 2 games a year, you're hoping he's obviously very successful. But what is it like to have another high-caliber athlete like that within your family? Maybe even at times to bounce some stuff off, because you're both at 2 of the highest educational facilities you can possibly find in college athletics.
It's really difficult. In the point that we're separated, because we didn't really expect to be at 2 different rival schools, but it's very funny to call him after a game and be like, well, I guess you beat Army, or I mean we beat Army this game, and it's pretty funny because we're pretty easygoing siblings, so we don't really let the rival get to our heads or anything, but I still, because family comes first, I still cheer him on with my heart.
No,
so.
of course. What is this week like for you and your teammates?
It's really competitive. It's very game on. We're starting to tone it down when it comes to our really hard workouts, just so that we can prepare and make sure that we're ready for Army going in.
Appreciate the time. Best of luck to you and your teammates this week.
Thank you.
All right, Chelsey Edwards joining us here on the Navy Sports Magazine.